Hey beautiful people, what is up? Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to my little corner of the interwebs. You guys already saw from the title and the thumbnail what we gonna do. So it's gonna be a bit of a chatty get ready with me because honestly this is something that's been sitting on my spirit for a little minute now, and I feel like I've been alluding to it in a couple of different videos over time, how I've been feeling. And now it's time to talk about it. But before we get into it, I do want to say that the star of this shot to get ready with me will actually be the Alter Ego Mirage palette. Now this is one that the brand sent me in PR, and kind of actually really appropriate for the conversation we're about to have, because Alter Ego is a dupe brand. So what they do is they actually create dupe palettes of very popular, I would say, in mainstream and luxury brands. So this is the inside of the Mirage palette, and this is a dupe for the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. So I'm gonna hold both of these up side by side so you can see what I mean by dupe, in case you were wondering. So basically the exact same color story. And sorry about the lighting, it is really gloomy outside today, so I have to use my ring lights. But you can see basically the exact same color story. The biggest difference here though is that this palette retails for $65, $69, and this one's $24. Is it the same formula? Oh no, I haven't even used the Huda Beauty one, and I don't think I'm gonna touch this today because I just want to focus on this palette and test it for what it is, its own formula, by itself without really comparing it. Because $24 for, how much even is this? 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, $24 for 24 shades. That's a solid price, you guys. And the way in which the beauty industry is going right now, price matters. So that's what we're going to be doing today. That's what I'm going to be focusing on, and I will kind of like insert the rest of the products in the description box if you are curious. Now Alter Ego, they did give me a discount code, so if you were interested in picking up this palette or any of the other palettes that they have on their website, I believe it's 20% off. I think it's just Jamila. It will come up on the screen here somewhere. So if you were interested, you could get an additional discount on top of how cheap these palettes are. So I'll have all that information in the description box below. Now, if this is your first time joining me, like I said again, welcome to my little corner of the interwebs. On my channel here, I really try to focus on high-end luxury and indie makeup, but really how to get them at the best prices, because I don't believe in paying full price for makeup. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the fam. It's a vibe over here. All right. I want to keep this intro short because I know I get really chatty and I don't want this video to be forever and a day long. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit more. There we go. So we up close and personal. But like I said, this is a chatty get ready with me. This is about to be a good conversation. Okay, so I'm going to start by going in with the shade Arid. And I'm going to use that as my transition shade for today's look, which is going to be really, really simple because I'm trying to do like 4 videos today. Yes, I know 4. It's a lot, but you all know I have been out and about in these streets, not in the streets, but I've been traveling like crazy. So I'm really, really behind in all of the things that I need to film with. So I'm playing catch up in a lot of ways. But anyways, you guys saw from the thumbnail and the title that I want to step back from indie makeup. I'll be the first to admit that that is a little bit of a clickbaity title because I am not planning to leave the indie beauty community. So if you saw it and you got scared and you were worried, don't worry guys, I'm not going nowhere. But I am reevaluating my relationship with the indie community. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, like I've said in previous videos, I can't get behind these indie eyeshadow prices. Now, first and foremost, indie makeup tends to be specifically eyeshadow. There are some brands that have branched out and started doing things like blushes or lip products or whatever. But for the most part, where the indie community shines or thrives is in eyeshadow. They're not doing any complexion products to say. And that's fair. And I feel like a few years ago, and this shade is blending so beautifully and buttery. Ooh. Anyways, a few years ago, indie makeup was not as, I want to say, as popular as it is now. Like, you kind of knew about it, but you had to kind of like be in the community. But I feel now more people have discovered that there's this whole world of beauty that's outside of mainstream. And by outside of mainstream, I mean not inside Sephora's and Ulta's and Nordstrom's or even the drugstores. You know, like these are the products that you can really only find online on that specific brand's website. And when I was first introduced to indie makeup, I was really excited, and then I went hardcore. You know, like I was like, ooh, these shadows are different because they were bright and punchy and colorful. And as someone who has a deeper complexion, that really appealed to me because, you know, sometimes you be struggling in these streets to find products that will have punch on deeper skin. Now we're gonna go into Bush. So I kind of like dove head first, and it was my first kind of foray into multi-chromes because let's be real, mainstream brands were not out here giving us multi-chromes. And I really, really enjoyed the indie products for what it was. It was new, it was innovative, it was exciting, it was different, and it was colorful and bright and fun. And now I feel like I'm at the point where I am sick and tired of indie brands. For a very specific reason. And it literally boils down entirely to the cost of the products at this point. Now, I get it. Indie makeup does not have, and indie brands don't have the same capital that mainstream brands have. So I understand that there's a certain level of risk associated with when these brands decide to put out products, right? Because they don't have the money sitting in the bank like a Sephora, like a Tarte or a Too Faced. They don't have that level of backing. So when I started off in indie, I feel like I accepted certain things as like, okay, this just has to happen. For example, pre-orders, you know? Pre-orders, which if you don't know, just to let you guys know, pre-orders are very, very popular in the indie community. And what it basically is that you purchase a product that the brand does not currently have in stock, and you wait several weeks, even possibly months, before you actually receive that product. And I understand brands doing this because it's a way for them to ensure that they are not over purchasing products and then they've wasted their money and they have all of these excess products sitting in a warehouse or in their house somewhere. But it's essentially a way to ensure that every single unit that they purchase gets bought because someone has already claimed it because it's a pre-order. So they can buy the exact amount of products that they want because they know the exact amount of people that they need to ship it to, versus buying in bulk and then hoping that you sell all of the products. So, you know, I kind of accepted that, and I did do a couple of pre-orders back in the day. And what I've come to find out or realize is that every single pre-order I have engaged in has never showed up on time. I can't tell you a single pre-order I've bought where I got the product within the time frame they said I was going to get the product. It was always something. It's always, oh, the manufacturer messed it up and now they have to redo it, or it gets stuck in customs and now we're just waiting. And I'm like, I understand shit happens. I get it. And I understand there needs to be some level of grace. But you've had my money for like 3 months now and I have nothing to show for it. And that doesn't sit right with me at all. Because I feel like if we enter into an arrangement where I give you money and you tell me I'll have a product in 6 weeks, I shouldn't be waiting for 6 months now. That's a problem for me. But, you know, that's the risk you take when you decide to purchase from an indie brand. And then, so that was one thing that always kind of like bugged me. The other thing that started to bug me, and I've talked about this before, is that as the indie community began to grow and there was a lot more interest, indie brands started popping up left, right, and center. Everybody and their mother wanted to start an indie brand, which is fine. If you want to be an entrepreneur and start a business, you go. You know, go full force. But with this like surge of indie brands came indie brands with the exact same formula. Because, as we all know, private labeling is a thing. It's not just relegated to the beauty community. It happens in every industry where you purchase a product that has like no sort of branding on it and you slap your label on it and it becomes yours. But another person can purchase that same product and slap their label on it and it can become theirs as well. And I have no issues with private labeling at all. But what I have an issue with is the price difference that started to arise from these private labeled brands. Like, don't tell me one brand is selling it for $24 and the other is selling it for $50, $60, $70. And it's the same formula now. Because what in the what, you know? So, being someone that was deep into the indie community, I would see all of these new releases and I'd get so excited by them because I thought that they were so pretty. And then I'd buy the products and I'd be like, but wait, I have this same shade in 3-4 different palettes from 3-4 different brands. And it was such a waste of money, you know? Okay, I'm gonna go into Endless, and I'm not gonna touch any of the cream shadows in this palette because I don't want to mess up this look, and I have like 3 other videos to film something, and I'm gonna plop that into the outer corner. And let me just say, you guys, these mattes are matting. If you know me, you know. If you don't know, welcome. Mattes, I am very, very particular about my mattes, and I mean extremely particular. If a palette has mattes that don't blend, that don't build, that are patchy, that palette is gone, because ain't nobody got the time to sit there and struggle bust with some mattes. Mattes frame the look. So I'm really intrigued and impressed with this. Like, look at the blend, you guys. Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Like I said, you would have the same shade or the same formula in multiple brands at way different price points. And that really bothered me because I was like, okay, now I know you have a stupid markup on this product. And don't get me wrong, I understand that I cannot get a palette or a shade for a 1-to-1 exchange. Like, that doesn't make any sense because there is time associated with either paying for artwork or packaging, or, you know, just your time shipping and packaging these products. Like, all of that is a cost associated with running a business. But some of these brands, and I'm being very, very honest, y'all know some of these brands are doing the most when it comes to the markup. I'm talking about 300+%. And that bothers me. Because one thing I don't like is people scamming me in my face. And I feel like at this point, which is why I'm making this video, I feel like I'm being scammed. I feel like I'm being robbed to my face. And I don't like it. It's not a nice feeling. And that's why I feel like I need to take a step back. Now, initially, I felt like these brands were kind of still reasonably priced, the $30, $40 vein. And then, you know what? Things started creeping up. It started becoming $50-something, $60-something. Now I am seeing palettes and products for $70 plus $80, $145. What is it crushed crystal? Like, were these blessed by Jesus, Mary, and Joseph themselves? Because I don't understand how these indie brands have the audacity to sit there and charge us $145 for the quality of products that they're putting out. Now, I am not saying that they're bad quality. Do not mistake what I'm saying right now, because the quality of the shadows that I've seen from indie brands, there's nothing wrong with them. They're typically very good quality. But I don't think that the quality that they're providing equals to the price that they're setting, for a couple of reasons. Because no, a lot of these brands are actually charging more than luxury brands. And that is wild to me, because that doesn't make any kind of sense. Because when it comes to luxury makeup and luxury eyeshadow, the price, you're paying for the name, yes, 100%, but you're also paying for the experience. When I purchase a palette from Chanel, Tom Ford, Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona, I know that this is overpriced in many ways, but I also know that the price factors in the experience that I get when using these products. Like, you already know, when you pick up a Pat McGrath Mothership, heavy, hefty, luxe, the black lacquered, it's pure luxury, period. And when you buy something from Chanel or Dior, you're getting this luxurious packaging that you get to open and you get to feel the like bouginess of it. It comes in its own little dust bag. All of those things are included in your purchase from luxury brands. Meanwhile, indie brands out here giving me cardboard without a mirror, without magnetized pans, and charging me $88, charging me $145. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because I'm confusion. Okay, let's keep on moving, because I need to get to the rest of my face. I kind of want to go here, here, and here. So I'm going to start with this shade. It's called Conquer. It looks like a deep-ish, purplish brown. Deep-ish. Ooh, that's rich. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that in the outer part of the eye. And I'm using my Refa #1 brush. So yeah, it's the being given a cardboard packaged product with no kind of like special pack, no, you know, like no black lacquer, no metal, no mirror, no nothing, and then having the crazy prices. And I tell you guys, that irritates my soul. It irritates my soul. And then the brands will come out and be like, oh, well, you know, if we put in a mirror, it's going to like make this so much more expensive. Question mark, like, I don't understand. Okay, and I should have started off this video with a little bit of caveats. So here's what you need to take into consideration if you're listening still. I am not a brand owner. I have no dog in this fight. Let's just start there. And 2, I have no experience or background or knowledge on what it costs to run a brand, or the actual manufacturing cost of these products. But I feel like, so there's that. That's it. I'm not speaking from a place of expertise. I'm speaking about this from a place of emotion and just how I feel in this moment. And in this moment, I'm not happy. I don't like it. I am bothered. So take that however you want to take it. If this video is not for you, I have a ton of other videos. So please, you know, find whatever you want to watch. But the thing is, I feel like I've also heard a lot of brand owners kind of come out and say, you know, like, there are these brands that are like scamming you guys, and they're trying to make you feel like it's this crazy expensive thing to produce, and they're lying to you. And I'm like, okay, it can't just be me. Okay, next I'm gonna go into this swirly shade. It's called Odyssey, and it'll be interesting to see how this performs. It looks very, very creamy. Ooh, that's pretty. So, oh, that's pretty. And from what I've heard from certain brand owners who've had the, like, you know, desire to speak up on this, is that typically the shadows themselves are not super expensive to produce unless you are creating a very unique formula. And if we're being very honest, a lot of the smaller indie brands are not creating specific formulas. And where a lot of the cost comes in is with the packaging and the sort of like overall design of the products. That's what adds to a lot of the cost. I don't know if that's true. It's just kind of what I've heard. So that being said, what we are being charged is still really expensive, because because honestly, when I look at the quality of indie makeup packaging, there's no way you can tell me that the price that we're being charged is in that packaging. Because again, we're being given cardboard. And if we want to just focus on the quality of the products that we're provided, I will say comfortably with my whole chest that I do feel like my indie shadows do not hold up over time the same way in which my luxury shadows do. It is what it is. That's just for me personally. I feel like while they are nice formulas, in terms of longevity, they don't have the same longevity. Like, I could pull out a Pat McGrath palette now that I've had for years, and it's going to perform like the same day I bought it. And I don't experience that with a lot of my indie shadows. And I don't know if it's because some of these multi-chromes are so creamy that, you know, over time it's going to dry out a little bit. But with like a lot of my like high, and I'm talking about super high-end luxury palettes that are those like really gorgeous like baked Italian formulas that are a little bit softer and lighter and a little bit more ethereal. My Pat McGrath, my Byredo, hell, even my Tom Ford, Chanel, all of those have way better longevity than I found my indie shadows to have. So in terms of quality, they definitely don't compare. Are there indie products that I like and I think are amazing quality and will continue to buy? Absolutely. And I'm using I'm speaking very, very broadly here. So whatever I say here today, please don't take it as an attack on a specific brand or anything like that. I'm just speaking in the general, because there are certain brands that I am obviously obsessed with and in love with and will continue to shop from. And those will typically be the brands that I think are appropriately priced, because for me, purchasing makeup is as much about the performance and the quality of the products as well as the experience. And again, if I feel like I'm being robbed, that already sours the experience to me. I'm already in a bad mood, like, because I feel like I'm being robbed. And that's just kind of what it is, you know? How many shadows can I put on my eyes before it gets ridiculous? Because now I'm like, oh, these are also pretty. I think, because I was gonna go hair, but I feel like it's already got a lot of depth, so I think I'm gonna go hair. Like, what is this? Yeah, let's go here. We're gonna go to Cleopatra as the inner corner shade. Okay, that's pretty. It's a little crumbly. Yeah, this is definitely a pretty crumbly shade. And I'm using a brush for this entire look because I kind of want a pretty soft look. You guys know I'm very comfortable going in with my fingers, but I want it to be a little bit softer today. And these are picking up really nicely with the brush, which is excellent. Okay, that's pretty, but I definitely am getting a lot of fallout from that shade. Like, there's so much gold shadow on my face right now. It's okay. We're gonna cover that up with foundation. So this is the eye. I'm just gonna quickly just brush, just clean it up, clean up the edges a little bit, throw some liner on, and then we will get started on the rest of the face and continue this discussion. Okay. Just brought you guys in a little bit so you could see the eyes, but also you guys can see the amount of fallout from that last shadow. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay. All right, let's get started on the rest of the face. Let's see, what are we gonna do today? I'm gonna use the Yummy Skin Glow Serum. It's a hydrating primer from Danessa. I picked this up during her Black Friday sale, so. Oh, that smells nice. This is a pretty glow. I like this. And I like the way it smells. Okay, so where was I? And for my foundation, I'm gonna go in with my LYS foundation. Just because I feel like I want something a little bit more hydrating on the skin today. Okay. All right, so I can't remember where I was or what I was saying. And I just want to point out that I did not script this, you guys. Like, I didn't plan this at all in any way whatsoever. So there are probably going to be things that I forget to say or things that, you know, don't exactly come out the perfect way. But, like, please just bear with me. Because I didn't exactly write a script for this at all. What I will say is that part of why I felt inspired to create this video is also because one of you guys a few weeks ago actually sent me a video from the owner of Glamlight who talked about this exact same thing in addition to a couple other things. So one of the things that she started off talking about is the constant releases from Glamlight, because I think we all are overwhelmed and a little bit over it. So what she started off, you know, talking about in the video was really just kind of explaining why there was so many releases, you know, issues with the licensing and how that can affect the proposed release dates that they have. So given that they do a lot of licensing with, and they do essentially all collabs. Everything that Glamlight does is a collab. And because that's how they operate, I'm sorry, I'm looking for a towel. So like I said, because Glamlight is a collab brand and they basically work off of licenses that they have with specific, oh, this looks crazy, they have with specific brands or organizations, there are sometimes delays in when things get released because of the kind of approvals process that they will have to go to. They sometimes have to go through with the brands. Fine, whatever. But I still think from a consumer perspective. So I'm glad that she kind of tried to explain it for us, which is fine, you know. It's nice to hear and understand the reasoning. I definitely put too much on. The reasoning behind the constant releases. And I appreciated that. At the end of the day, does it change anything from a consumer perspective? Not really. Like, it's nice to know, but at the end of the day, I still feel overwhelmed. And I'm sure other people still do too. Like, because there's no way any consumer can really keep up with the amount of releases, which you shouldn't have to, right? Because we're not out here buying every single release from every single brand. Like, unless you are reviewing or, you know, a YouTuber. What happened? I'm sorry, guys. I definitely went ham on this. Okay, we'll fix it. It will look right at the end, but please just let it go for now. Also, I am a little bit darker in my like forehead region because I was in Puerto Rico like a week ago, and you know, your girl got a tan because obviously I'm gonna be in the sun, but right now it makes me look insane. So we will share it out. Don't worry, don't panic, even though I'm the one that's panicking. But yes, essentially, so she spent a huge chunk of that video talking about the fact that there are certain things that impact when they release, how they release, and that can actually, and because things change, it can impact the proposed release dates, which is why we're seeing so many things coming out back to back to back, and that they know that it's overwhelming. She also talked about the fact that Glamlight is currently in discount stores. And by discount stores, I mean TJ Maxx, Marshalls. Those are the stores that you can find Glamlight products in, and they are cheaper at those stores than if you were to buy it from on the website or even at like because they're in CVS as well. So because they're in discount stores, I think a lot of people are kind of like cloning them in terms of being like, oh, well, you guys are going to discount stores because you release too much. Nobody wants to like buy the products because it's overwhelming, blah, blah, blah. She tried to say, well, not she tried, but she definitely said that they actually purchase products specifically to have them sold in discount stores. And she talked about her sort of background, which I really appreciated, coming from a place of not having a lot and having to shop at specific discount stores, and specifically wanting her brand to be affordable. So while she has her regular standard pricing on her website, she wanted it to be as affordable as possible. And I respect that. I respect a brand owner saying, you know, like, regardless of how much money I make now, regardless of how big and how popular my brand is, I created this brand for me like 10 years ago when I couldn't afford things, you know, like I created this brand to be an affordable brand, and I'm going to stick by it. I'm going to try to make this as affordable as possible. And one thing she said was that the bigger we get, the more we're able to purchase larger quantities and whatnot. She wants to pass the savings down to the consumer, because that's another thing that I've learned, you know, kind of like from hearing from others, is that one of the challenges that smaller brands have is oftentimes that because you are purchasing less units, it costs more. The more you buy, the less you pay per unit. Makes sense. But because these indie brands are purchasing less units, they are paying a higher premium. Do I think that that is a factor? Yes, absolutely. But I also want to say, again, these brands are doing pre-orders, so it's not exactly like they're eating any kind of loss. Like, let's be real. Like, it would be different if you were purchasing large quantities of products that were just sitting there, but you are purchasing the exact amount in some cases, or like, you know, very close to the exact amount, because you're doing a pre-order. So there's not really a ton of risk associated with that. You see what I mean? But going back to Glamlight, you know, they talked about, and I'm saying they, but it really was the owner, the founder and the owner of Glamlight. She really talked about the fact that they want to be affordable. They are in discount stores like TJ Maxx and Marshalls by choice. And that is a decision that she has made for her brand. There were a couple other things, but what I really want to focus on is then she kind of like pivoted to talk about pricing and really called out other brands and was like, they are lying to you guys when brands are charging you these ridiculously expensive prices for products and then trying to convince you that it's because of the packaging, or it's because of this, or it's because of that. They are lying to you, and that the markup that's in the beauty industry is insane. And I believe her. I believe her so much, you guys. Like, I believe her hardcore, because the thing about Glamlight too is that when you look at Glamlight, I mean, really, really look at Glamlight, and you look at their products, the Glamlight products are exceptional. First and foremost, the packaging is insane. And because they're doing all of these collabs with different entities, they spend a lot of time, in my opinion, or from what I can see, with like packaging and design and getting it right. Because let's be real, when Glamlight puts out a theme, they actually make sure that their packaging and everything aligns perfectly. They do a really good job at that, in my humble opinion. So from a packaging perspective, chef's kiss. The artwork and the imagery is usually perfection. The construction, yes, it's still cardboard or whatever, but it's still, or plastic, it's still really, really well done. And with all of that, we're still seeing products under $30. Like, so watching a brand like Glamlight produce products at that price point, and also their eyeshadow formula and all their other formulas, they're great. Like, I've said this before, the Glamlight formula is superb. They have one of the best matte shadow formulas, and they've improved it, because what they had back in the way back was good, but then they got better, and they got better at the same price point or cheaper. Like, you see what I mean? Meanwhile, we have other brands that are charging us $60, $70, $80, $100+ and we're not getting any bougie packaging. Quite frankly, we're getting clip art on a piece of cardboard, and you might get a mirror, you might not. It may or may not be magnetized pans, and then we're being told, well, that's why it costs so much, you guys. I just can't. I can't. And I don't know, again, because I don't have any expertise in this, but I just feel like this is all based on feelings. I just feel like we're being lied to, and we're being scammed, and we're being told, or, you know, these brands are trying to convince us that this is normal, this is accurate, this is what you should be paying. And I get it that there has been an increase in a lot of things, because I also feel like that was used as an excuse for so long. Just going in with my Pat McGrath under eye blurring powder, where, okay, COVID disrupted the supply chain, and now everything is like 4, 5, 10 times more expensive than what it needs to be. Maybe in 2021 we could have had those conversations, but not in 2023, and sure as hell not in 2024. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing this game. I'm not going through the motions of getting scammed to my face for products that I don't essentially feel are worth it. Like, and again, I don't think it's anything wrong with the price. I don't think there's anything wrong with quality. I think it's essentially the price, because I do think that these products are absolutely beautiful and definitely would recommend people use them and pick them up, but not at that price point. At that price point, I might as well go to Chanel. I might as well go to, and well, you know, Pat McGrath. And you can't tell me too, because like Pat McGrath is constantly on sale. So I think her products are worth it at the full price. But if Patricia could sell those products at 40% off, who I look like paying Patricia prices for like, no. And in terms of like investing, like I said, I don't think that they last as long. So for me, I have made the personal decision to like, you know what? I'm just going to take a step back. I'm going to like reevaluate my space in this indie beauty community. Okay, and you guys see, pulled it all together. I'm using the Sephora Micro Smooth powder to just set that foundation. For bronzer, what are we gonna do with bronzer? Let's go bougie today, since talking about bouginess. I'm gonna go in with my Gucci bronzer. So yeah, I'm at the point where I'd rather, like, if I'm gonna spend that money, I'm gonna spend it on luxury. Because if I pick up this Gucci bronzer, I'm gonna get a nice little Gucci dust bag. It has some weight to it. It definitely feels like some thought and some effort was put into the packaging. And I know that that's where the money's going. Is the formula the greatest? It's fine. But like, I can get better, I can get a nice, decent formula from another brand cheaper. But I got the Gucci experience. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, finish up the rest of my face off camera, because that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And then I'm gonna come back and wrap up this video with just some sort of like summary of my thoughts. But I'm gonna go ahead, finish this off camera, and then come back and give you guys like the wrap up. Okay, so the face is done. Before I wrap up my thoughts, I do want to tell you guys the rest of the products that I added to this look. So for my blush, I ended up going in with 2 of the bronzers from Bare Minerals. I picked both of these up during the Sephora VIB sale. It's Kiss of Spice and Kiss of Mauve. Those are the 2 shades. Really, really like those. I love the bronzer formula. I think I have every shade except for one, and that's just because that one was a little too light for my complexion. But in terms of formula, perfection. It's very, very glowy though, so. But not too glowy. I take it back. It's not like very, very glowy because I don't like glowy bronzers, but it definitely has like a nice little like sheen to the face without being crazy glowy because I'm not a glowy bronzer girl. In terms of highlight, I'm wearing Mesmerize from Rare Beauty. It's a little bit of a pinky highlight, so that is the highlight here as well as my brow bone. Highlight for my lips, I went in with my Toasty liner from Morphe. This has been long discontinued. And then I'm using the Entranced lipstick from Pat McGrath. This is a satin lippy. This is actually really pretty. It's been a minute since I used the Pat McGrath lip. And for my waterline, just to quickly tell you guys what I did, I went back in with this deep brown shade, I think it's called Endless, and then I used Heat for the inner part of the eye, and then for my inner corner highlight, I went in with Pyramid. So that's the look. So quite frankly, I used a lot of those, a lot of the shimmer shades in that palette to pull this look together. Oh, and where did I put it? I did go ahead with my Chantecaille finishing powder to just kind of pull everything together after setting my face with the Rick and Morty spray from Glamlight. Is this good? I don't really know. I don't think it does much of anything in terms of like setting and like, you know, mattifying for a long time, but it's not bad. So I don't mind using it. And that's this face. So there's that. Before I wrap up my thoughts though, I do want to quickly talk about the Mirage palette. I actually think this performed really well. I do think the mattes blended really nicely. The shimmers were really nice. They applied really well with a brush. This top one though, I did get quite a bit of fallout, so I'm not sure why that one's a little bit more crumbly than the others, but that one is probably one that it's easier to pick up with like a finger and then like stamp in to help reduce the fallout. One thing I did notice is I did get a little bit of patchiness in this corner, but not here. So this eye, everything blended perfectly in terms of the mattes, but in this eye, I'm getting a little bit of patchiness in this corner right here. Not sure what that is. I don't know if it's because of the concealer or the way I prime my lids, but honestly, it's not like crazy, and it probably is like user error in some way, but I did want to flag that because y'all know I'm gonna give y'all all the deets, the good, the bad, the ugly. So it's just something that stood out to me is that there was a little bit of patchiness in this corner, so maybe I over blended or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know if it's really super duper crazy noticeable, but yeah, overall I think this worked really well. I love the formula that they use in here. And this is a $24 eyeshadow palette, and the reason why I wanted to really focus on this today is because of the topic that we were talking about, right? The price of this indie makeup and the indie shadows, and me feeling like I need to take a step back from it. Because there are brands like Alter Ego that exist that are still offering us extremely affordable beauty products that are high quality and perform just as well as these high-end brands. Now, with everything I said, there is of course a caveat and a but, because I don't really believe in a lot of black and whites. I think that there's a lot of nuance to everything generally, but particularly with this conversation. For example, when it comes to handmade shadows like Notoriously Morbid, I think that there is a little bit of a pass and a grace that has to be given there, because those shadows are handmade, they're hand pressed, and somebody's literally sitting there doing all of the work, which I think is very different from the brands that do purchase in bulk, mass, pre-made, private labeled products, because they're not putting in the same level of effort. So when it comes to the prices of brands like Notoriously Morbid, I get it, because it takes longer to produce those palettes because they are handmade, hand pressed. So I think that that's one of the caveats that I want to flag. I also feel like we have been conditioned to believe that multi-chromes are super expensive, and that is the reason why these prices keep going up and up and up and up. But then I will see brands like Cosmic Brushes, even Blend Bunny to some extent, with like including one shade, one multi-chrome in a palette, and the palette still being really affordable. For example, the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland palette, I believe that has 2 multi-chromes in it, and that palette is still like under $30 something. So like, I think that we're being lied to. And I think that it's a little bit of BS when brands are like, well, it's all of these multi-chromes and all of these special shifty shades, and that's why it's so expensive. Okay, like, is it really though? Because knowing that there are brands like Cosmic Brushes, Glamlight, heck, even Alter Ego, Mez Beauty, like, Nomad Cosmetics, Blend Bunny, like, there are brands that still exist that are offering us palettes and products that are under $50. And knowing that that exists, it definitely makes me feel like we're continuously being scammed. Because I don't understand how Cosmic Brushes can offer us like $20-something eyeshadow palettes or $30-something eyeshadow palettes. Like, but if they can do it, why can't everybody else? Because they're also doing it and giving us a mirror. It's still in like very rudimentary cardboard packaging, but like all the other brands are doing that as well. So yeah, what does that mean for me? What does that look for me when in terms of me stepping back from indie, like eyeshadow indie products? I'm not leaving the indie beauty community. There's still going to be very specific brands and products that I will review for you guys. You guys know I have my holy grails, like, and I feel very strongly about certain brands. For, you know, like Blend Bunny, Nomad Cosmetics, those are brands that I know and love, and quite frankly I get PR from them so that they will still be a part of my channel going forward. But even if I didn't get PR from them, they are still brands that I really enjoy and appreciate, and I think are still priced appropriately for what you get. Glamlight is another brand that I'm still very interested and intrigued by, that I will continue to look for. Notoriously Morbid is another one, but they have some weird shipping issues going on, so they're kind of on like pause. Adept Cosmetics is one that, honestly, it's a toss-up, you guys, because like when they did that $145 Seahorse palette, I was like, they've lost their ever-loving mind. But then there are also palettes and products that are kind of like in the $50, $60-something range, which I think is still really expensive, but when they do sales, and they will often do a 25% off sale, it brings it down, in my opinion, to what it should have been priced at in the first place. So Adept, you know, when brands like that, while I'm still interested in them, it has to be at an appropriate price point. It has to be at the sale price point, because I do not think that they are priced well. Granted, I do think that Adept has better construction when it comes to their packaging that makes it more worth it. Like, you get the faux leather, and it definitely feels more luxe than some of these other brands. So I see that a little bit. And they do offer a lot of multi-chromes in their palettes as well. So Adept is one of those brands where it's like, they're offering really great multi-chromes and really nice mattes and whatnot, and they're still cheaper than some of these other brands that I'm like, what am I getting for this? Like make it make sense. No. So there are certain brands that I'm like, okay, I'm going to continue looking for you guys. But there are brands that I'm like, I'm not even going to look twice because I don't appreciate it, and I'm not in the mood to be scammed. No, I do want to wrap this up by saying these are entirely my thoughts, my feelings. Like, it's literally just my feelings, you guys. So please don't take it any kind of way. Please don't take it as me bashing any brand. One thing that I do not do on this channel is I don't watch anybody's pockets but mine. What you do with your money is your business, girl. Your business, sis. Have fun. If this is where you think you want to put your money and your spending into, I'm not judging by any means whatsoever. So if you are purchasing from these brands that are selling $60, $70, $80 palettes and you feel like the value is there, that's entirely your decision to make, and I have no judgments whatsoever. I just wanted to share what I'm feeling, because I feel like some of you guys who also watch me have the same feeling and sense, and we've never really named it or called it out or talked about it, and I just felt like I needed to, because your girl is tired, sick and tired of being like robbed to my face. So, but that's it. I know this was a really long one. If you guys liked it, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you're interested in picking up the Alter Ego palette, I will have it linked down below with my discount code. So I do believe it's affiliated. So if you do purchase it with my code, I will get a kickback and make a small commission off of it. But no, seriously guys, no pressure here whatsoever. But yeah, that's it, you guys. This was fun. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hopefully this is a premiere so we can chat about it in the chat section, because I really want to hear you guys' thoughts. If you are not interested in leaving a pretty long comment, but you want to like leave a comment whatsoever, just put a little orange heart. Put a little orange heart in the comment section, just because I know sometimes it can be a bit much to like write out a full-fledged comment. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much more than you know, as always, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye!